you do me a favor? Put your hands together for the hilarious Doug Mellard!
Yeah! What is up? Give it up for everybody's seen tonight, huh? Yeah! Okay, that's enough. That's enough. It's my turn now. I'm joking. Guys, I just went skydiving for the first time. You guys ever done that? Anyone? Why? Why did we do that? What a terrible idea. I have crippling anxiety issues, and I'm afraid of heights. Doesn't seem like a good formula for me to jump out of a plane. Like, I don't even like being on a ladder. That's like being on at least like 20 ladders. No scientist. I don't, yeah, I mean, it was fun. I got to skywrite with my diarrhea for the first time. Yeah. People seem to enjoy that for sure. It just said shit with my shit. It was meta. I don't, what? The biggest regret, the first time you go tandem, which means you have an expert strapped to you. And I thought we would be facing each other. You know what I mean? That would have been nice. That way, in case the chute doesn't pull, I can look deep into Chad's eyes. Maybe I make a connection. I don't die alone. You know what I mean? It was weird. Like, I don't like being that close to a guy, you know, normally, but like, it was the one time where I was like, hey man, can you get closer? Just stick it in, man. Just get in there. Normally, never, but just, I'll know you're there. When you pull the chute, you pull out. Pull and pull, okay? The weirdest part, he pulls a chute, and we're floating safely down to Earth. And at one point, he just yells into my ear, "You want to do some scary shit?" What? I just replied, "No! This is the scary shit!" We jumped out of a plane. What was he gonna do, like inject me with heroin? Were we gonna play Russian roulette on the way down? Fuck you, Chad. I just got married. Oh, hold the applause. She recently sharded in a Ross dress for less, so let's see how this plays out. I love her, but there's that. Right out of the gates, we get married, and then that just starts. Okay. So I just had my bachelor party not too long ago, and guys, let me tell you, it was crazy. My dad was there. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you invite your dad to a party where a lot of people want to do drugs, people don't know what to do with themselves. Like, your dad's here? Should we just leave? And right before my dad showed up, my mom texted me, "Your dad's almost there. I sent some fresh baked banana bread. Thought it would help the party." Awesome, Mom. Oh, shit. People are gonna die tonight. And then on the flip side of that, my now brother-in-law texted me, "Hey, man, I found a stripper that'll fuck a dog if we want her to." Whoa. Someone's moral compass will be tested tonight, for sure. Those are polar opposite things going on. I politely declined, ultimately. I'm a gentleman and a dog person. I was like, thank you for the sentiment. That's very sweet. But I like dogs. And also, like, what if I liked it? That wouldn't be good, you know? Like, then I can't marry her. I got a lot of thinking to do, you know? The actual bachelor party itself, very tame. We went to like 3 bars and I threw up a lot. And I had friends like, "Yo, you threw up at your bachelor party? Hell yeah, success, man, high five." And I was like, "What, have you ever thrown up before? It's not fun." It's just weird, like turning 21 and having your bachelorette party, the only 2 times in life where a failed body function means a success. Like, that never happened. Like, I've never heard of it like a quinceañera, you know, where like the girl has explosive diarrhea and the friends are like, oh, your daughter had explosive diarrhea? High five, she's a woman now, success. Like, what? The day of the bachelor party, my older brother and I were running errands for it, getting ready, and we realized we hadn't eaten that day, and we're like, we gotta coat our stomachs before we go destroy them. So we like rushed into Subway, which is the only way you ever go into Subway, I guess. And the guy behind the counter asked me, hey man, how you doing? I was like, oh great man, I'm having my bachelor party. And he goes, oh, this weekend? I go, no, this is it. And I really committed to it. I was just like, yeah, no, man, it's awesome. Like, I'm really stoked on it. And I was like, actually, could you speed this up? My brother has to go back to work soon, so it's just me and him. So he did that weird like lip quiver thing, like he's just like so sad for me, and he's just like, you know what? These sandwiches are on me. And I was like, fuck yeah, bro, best bachelor party ever. I can't speak. And then he took a 15-minute break and killed himself. You guys read about that. It was here. Our wedding was great. It was fun. We like to screw with people. Like, we don't like traditional weddings, and we like to get in people's heads. So one thing we did when we got to the dance part, we danced. Our first dance was to that song by 9 Inch Nails with the lyrics, I want to fuck you like an animal. Yeah, it was great. And we got very touchy. It was weird. Her Aunt Susan cried and yelled, stop. And we didn't. We kept going. And then, of course, she danced with her dad, which was weird because we had just come on the dance floor. And then I, of course, danced with my mother, and we didn't mess with that because that's sacred. And yeah. And then to change it up and keep people guessing, what we did, we had my dad dance with her dad for the first time. Just people were like, what is going on? Like, what's after this? And it was adorable. My dad stood on her dad's toes and just like little father and daughter, and we were just in the back giggling like, they're doing it. Holy shit. Just cash in, favorite, anything you say on your wedding day, people will do it. It's awesome. So we just got married, which means inevitably we're asked, when are you guys having kids? And we're not. So that's been weird lately. I didn't know that would turn into a lot of lectures by friends that would get very upset with us. We didn't know that was in store for us. And what's weird is our friends that are good parents, no problem with it. They're like, oh, that good on you. That's your decision. Enjoy your life. Our friends that seem to hate their role as a parent, they're the ones that are like, what are you doing? And they'll just it's like these weird lectures where they're like, oh man, we're broke. Our marriage is falling apart. I never go out anymore. I never sleep. You gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. Have a kid. Sink on this ship with me. I'm like, what is happening right now? And so we decided like how we're gonna announce it to the world. This is how our parents are gonna find out. Like a gender reveal, we're gonna send out a card with us holding balloons, black balloons with red X's on them. And it's just gonna be us smiling real big, holding stacks of cash we're gonna save. With brochures from all the countries we're gonna visit. Sorry, Mom! She's not gonna like it. Totally doing it. The main reason I don't want to have a kid, I remember when I was little, I would wake up my dad from naps. And I remember, like, he would be my age now, and I'd, like, mid-nap, just like, Dad, wake up! Why don't you want to play? Who wants to nap? You're an idiot! And then if I were to have a kid, I don't want to go in front of a judge and explain that I murdered my child because he woke me up over a nap. Here's a fun prank you guys can play on a Lyft driver. This is great. What you do You gotta have access to a newborn baby. Steal it. What doesn't matter where it comes from. Put it in the back seat. No seatbelt, nothing, right? And then just, the Lyft driver is just like, what is going on? And then you say, hey, can you take my stupid kid to my ex-wife who's a real bitch? She's working down at the Yellow Rose. My weekend is up. Time to party, bro. And then take a picture of his face. It's awesome. And if you want to take that prank up a notch, what you do, you order the Lyft, you put a gray beard and wig on the baby, and say, hey, my grandpa got fucked up. Could you please take him home? He's not going to tip you. I'm sorry. Shut the door. Any sports fans here? Anyone? 4 people. Cool. All right. Well, little backstory, I guess. If you're not familiar, last NFL draft, at the number 3 pick, the New York Jets selected Sam Darnold out of USC quarterback. And guys, I've decided that if Sam Darnold does not have a child and name it Arnold Darnold, I am gonna put a bullet in my brain, for sure. Life is not worth living. I've decided that we should give actress Daryl Hannah a Lifetime Achievement Award for being the only female that's super hot and happens to be named Daryl. Hard to pull off. I think about it all the time. Like guys coming up to her in bars like, hey, beautiful, what's your name? Daryl! I had a stranger stop me while I was walking my dog, and he was like, oh, your dog is so behaved. And I go, you should see her in bed. He no longer spoke to me after that, which was the full plan. You can try it. So I do have an album out called Fart Safari 2 Fart Harder. It's been selling well, downloaded on iTunes, all that stuff. But I'm bringing this up because it's a little backstory for this next joke. My friend Cameron took photos for the cover, and it's me in a suit contradicting the words fart harder. It's so dumb. And a lot of the pictures didn't make it to the cover, some of which were me in a suit on a toilet just having a hard time. And I'm saying this because I was hanging out at her place. I love her kids. And I was playing with her 4-year-old daughter the copycat game where I copy everything she says and she pretends to hate it, but she's having the time of her life. And so everything she said, I said back. And at one point, I guess Cameron showed her those photos of me on the toilet because she yelled out, my mommy took pictures of you going potty. And without thinking, I said, my mommy took pictures of you going potty. And then the party was over, and Cameron pulled me aside and was like, hey, too many people heard that. We have to cut bait with our relationship. And I was like, I get it. Last time I was visiting Austin, actually, here, I was with my friend Dave, and he was like, hey, man, I know you're super hungover, but do you want to go to lunch with my kid as he's in kindergarten? And I was like, yeah, that sounds terrible, but I'm a good guy, so yeah, let's do it. And so we go, and I didn't know this, but when you go to the front, they have to ask for your ID to do a background check, and I like to screw with people. So before I handed it over, I go, hey, whoa, hold on. How far back does this go? It's not for super violent stuff, right? And that's why I am not ever invited back to Forest North Elementary. I got out of it, which again was the plan from the beginning. Here's a fun prank you can play on Southwest Airlines. This is great. I don't know if you guys know this, but Southwest lets you choose your own seat. It's open boarding. And so when you get on there, if you're the second person on the plane, if you get A2, what you do, you sit right next to that first person. Middle seat, just plop down, big grin on your face. You excited? It's my first time to fly. And then pull out a kazoo. See their eyes light up. This is gonna be awesome. Did you guys know it's not illegal to, on a flight, it's not illegal to read a book out loud while you point to the words? Not illegal. I had a neighbor that did that, and it is illegal to murder them, which is frustrating. Have you guys ever heard somebody say, "Oh, that baby's so cute, I want to eat it"? I finally did. Delicious. Recently, my wife pulled out the old baby pictures. Like, she was like, wanted to look at my baby pictures, so she was like, "Oh, those are so cute. You were such a cute little boy." And then she was like, "Well, it's time to look at mine. I want you to see my baby pictures." And I was like, "Nope." And she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Well, because it's going to be weird, because I'm just going to look at this baby and be like, yep, I fucked that baby." And I didn't do it. Her mom heard that comment and was like, "What? All right." Did you guys hear the recent bombshell that Paul McCartney dropped about him and John Lennon and a few random strangers? No one knows. Does anyone want to yell it out? They jerked off together. That's right. I'm not crazy. I'm not making this up. All of you are you're going to look this up later. It's worth looking. So, on a press tour for his latest album, he dropped that, like, he and John Lennon and some random dudes would jerk off together when they're like 14 or something, and so, like, it was so weird. And, like, which, first of all, like, he's like pushing 80 or whatever. Why would you, like, you've gotten away with this secret your whole life? You're like, I'm maybe gonna die soon. Maybe let's release this to the entire world. And I'm really getting it out there. But what's even crazier about that story to me is the fact that, like, those other guys, that means there are a few guys out there that their whole lives never thought of the Beatles as the Beatles, but rather as those guys I jerked off with all the time. That is incredible. And, like, that story had to have come out, and they're like, you know, like, yeah, like, the guy's just like reads the headline and yells to his wife, "I fucking told you!" Probably one of those guys, like, life fell apart over it because they're like, hey, he's a chronic liar. This guy's. I think the hardest part about being a surgeon would have to be, like, not like all the grueling schooling that you have to go through and all that kind of stuff. I think it would be having the restraint to not draw a penis on someone's forehead before they wake up from surgery. That would be impossible for me. Like, I couldn't do it. It's not the other stuff. I could do that easily. And just like, I just like picture a patient that wakes up and sees the dick in the mirror, like, on their forehead, and they're like, "Ah, doc, you got me." And then they see the wrong leg was amputated. They're like, "Ah, you got me twice." "Oh, doc." I saw a commercial for a new doctor's show drama series that said, "This doctor doesn't play by any of the rules." And guys, if there is one occupation where I really want you to play by the rules, for sure, doctor. That's top of the list. I don't want my doc going rogue during surgery. You guys are awesome. Like, I want to be very transparent and honest with you guys. I have no idea who J.D. Power and Associates are. No clue. Sounds like a made-up name. Sounds like a kid trying to get in a bar, and they're like, "What's your name, man?" He's like, "J.D. Power?" Like, what? Why are we trusting this person with all of our consumer decisions? Did you guys... This is crazy. Look it up. J.D. Power was arrested and sent to prison for 6 months for fucking a horse. No, he didn't, but I don't, like, he could be fucking horses, and we'd be like, we should buy this truck. J.D. Power, old horse fucker, he loves this truck. Says it's real safe. You just blindly listen to stuff. It's weird. Our really fun, great dog, Penny, and my wife and I, the whole time we've had her, we've always encouraged her to go chase that squirrel. We're like, Penny, if she sees a squirrel, she goes nuts, she freaks out, and we're like, Penny, get the squirrel. Get the squirrel, you know? And she freaks out, and we'll even run with her on leash and see how close we can get to the squirrel, you know? And just let her kind of go nuts and chase it up the tree or whatever. And then she won't stop thinking about it for the next 3 days, I swear. It's insane. Our whole lives with her, we have always assumed, even if she was in striking distance, she wouldn't go for it. There's no way she would actually get the squirrel. Or even if she did, she would grab the squirrel, put it in her mouth, and then look at us like, what do I do now? And then spit it out and just freak out ah! Guys, I was very wrong. I was very, she got the squirrel. She got the squirrel, whipped it around like a little ragdoll rascal, you know, and it was making noises I can't unhear. And I love my dog. I love all animals. I'm a big animal lover, and it scars me. And we were like, Benny, spit it out! We're just freaking out. Benny, no! Fuck you! It's gonna die! Benny, no! And, sorry, and she spits it out, and it kind of hobbles off into nature, you know. We probably should have let her finish the job. But guys, think about how confusing that was for her. She's gonna second guess everything she does for the rest of her life. That's crazy, you know? That's if you had a kid and the kid the whole life wanted to be an astronaut, and they go on a mission to first person on Mars, and they get there, and then you transmission call them, whatever, and they pick up the call. I don't know how, I guess they do this in space. And they're like, oh, hey, Mom, aren't you proud? We're like, fuck you, get off Mars! Get your ass back here! Spit the squirrel out! What does that mean? I'm an astronaut. I was at a funeral recently, and give it up for that. No, my wife's uncle passed away. He's a great dude, and you guys know how when you're at a funeral, you're supposed to be really quiet. That's the rule. That's the one big rule. Be sad, be quiet. And the old lady, the 114-year-old next to me, did not get the message. As soon as the service began, you know the part where everybody's super sad because it really kicks in that this person is really gone and the sniffles start coming. That's when her Apple Watch went off real loud. It was on old lady loud, and the weirdest part is the incoming call from Big Dick Jimmy. I was like, what is happening right now? And she just turns to me, panics, and she just hands me the watch. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, you don't take the call unless you have another funeral to go to. You're 150, you've been to a lot of funerals. All of your friends are dead. Just what is happening? And so I take the watch. I can't figure out how to turn it off, and she's like, let's turn the volume down. I can't figure it out. I don't have an Apple Watch. I don't know what to do, and I'm panicked, and everybody's looking at me. I have anxiety issues, so this gives me, I'm waiting for this watch to go off the rest of the funeral. It's a Catholic service, so it was 16 hours long, and about 14 hours in, I'm just rocking back and forth, sweating. My new father-in-law thinks I'm on cocaine at the uncle's funeral, and and so finally I just yelled out, just fucking ring! And then I excused myself. It was weird. At the burial, this is weird. They did the Jewish tradition where you scoop the dirt on the casket, and I'd never done it. It's a beautiful, you're taking care of that person to the last minute. It's a beautiful ceremony, and I had never done it. And I assumed it was just going to be a really immediate family, so I'm just standing in the back, And then my mother-in-law grabs me and she's like, "You're part of the family now, Doug. You're coming with us," which is just code for help us bury this fucking body. And it was strange. It was a weird feeling, and so I get in my head. So like I'm like watching other people scoop dirt because I'm like, how much dirt do I get? I don't want to show off, you know? Like I don't like. Check it out, look how strong I am. Take my shirt off and just like, yeah! Look at all this fucking dirt! Bye, Uncle Dick! Spike the shovel. Hell yeah! Fuck y'all! No, I didn't, I don't want to do that. Fireworks go off behind me. But what I did do, as I'm shoveling my, middle of the road scoop, I had drank a lot of scotch the night before because Uncle Dick likes scotch, and the shovel slipped because I had the shakes. And, I caught it. Don't worry, I caught it. But there was a moment where, like, if that had happened, I was like, I would have just jumped in on top of the casket and, like, just keep it coming. We just lost my grandfather to autoerotic asphyxiation. I know. No, hey. Don't get sad. He didn't die from it. He just enjoys it so much he never has time for us anymore. So, yeah. It's actually, he's just a really passionate guy. He's got a lot of great hobbies. And, here's something I can't wrap my head around. I think it's weird that we can't tickle ourselves, but we can masturbate. That doesn't make any sense. Masturbating is like the most tickling a human can do. That's why scientists refer to it as super tickling. I don't know if you know that, but it's just like God doesn't want us to laugh. He only wants us to come. Am I right? Huh? Someone said, "Oh yeah." Big God guy. I get it. You guys have been awesome. I'll leave you on this. Do you guys think that butterflies have tattoos of annoying drunk women on the lowers of their thorax? You guys have been great. Give it up for Matt here and have a great night. Take care.